Thank you for responding to my humble invitation to gather today in this special place of the Polish Museum of America, where our culture, language, and history is treasured and kept visible to us and generation of Poles, and for all who want to know about our beloved homeland and Polonia. I especially want to thank the Polish Roman Catholic Union and its president, Mr. Drobot, his staff, and the staff of Polish Museum of America for giving us this opportunity to come together this day in October, which is also Polish Heritage Month. Also this month, on the 22nd, is the feast day of St. John Paul the Great, who was elected to the papacy 37 years ago. I pray that he intercedes on our behalf, and together with the Blessed Mother of Częstochowa, stands at the throne of God with the intercessory prayer for us and for the work that we do in God's name. I also thank each one of you and your organization that you represent for taking this time out of your busy lives, in addition to your jobs, families, and other calls for your time, and serve your faith and your heritage as leaders of organization of Polonia. This talk is in both languages, prepared also for those who would like to take and read it again, because I will switch from one language to another. So those who for some reason may miss one or the other will have a chance to familiarize themselves with this talk. So when I speak in English, don't worry those who speak Polish more than English, because there is this part in Polish and vice versa. Przewodnictwo świętego Jana Wielkiego przeobraziło przez ostatnie dekady Polaków, Polonię i świat, a jego owoce będą odczuwalne w życiu kolejnych pokoleń. Będziemy sięgać do papieskiego nauczania przez wiele lat, szukając kierownictwa i inspiracji do naszego życia jako osób wierzących. Czerpiemy także z przykładu jego świadectwa bycie osobą uniwersalnie rozpoznawalną, a zarazem osobą lojalną wobec swojej kulturowej tradycji. Now, Pope Francis, as Vicar of Christ, called our attention to these universal and cultural, centered, unchangeable human and Christian values. He showed that sensitivity as he spoke to the people of the United States and the world who gathered for the World Meeting of Families. Next year in Krakow, we of Polonia will join our brothers and sisters in Poland in welcoming Pope Francis for World Youth Day. May the international gathering of young people shine God's light on the jewel of Poland for the world to see. Today, I invite you together with me to write a new chapter of the achievements of Polonia. I invite you and each of your organizations to together work with the emphasis on together work. Each of us brings a wealth of experience, both good and sometimes less than good, from our own lives and our work in the organizations we represent. Today, we have over 90 different organizations present here at this meeting. I'm very proud of you. When I look at you, I see treasury, which is enough for many, many generations to tap into. We have here people of art. We have here people of law. We have here people of business. We have here people of education. We have here people of medical professions. We have here every possible tool, so to speak, in order for our Polonia to be healthy spiritually. You just encountered a minute part of priests who want to be part of this Polonia. We have every possible profession in our Polonia, so put that together. That's our asset. Let's work, my brothers and sisters, together so we could do much more than individually working. Skupiając uwagę na teraźniejszości, możemy wpłynąć na przyszłość Polonii w tym kraju, będącym naszym domem. Głównie, ale bez ograniczania się tylko do socjalnych i religijnych celów. Surveys affirm what we know in our hearts. Happiness comes from having a good and well-formed family. Or to paraphrase one of the homilies of Pope Francis, Jesus incarnate did not come to this earth into a castle or an army. He came to us as a baby through a family. This family is where we learn, our language, our faith, and our expression of it. It is where we are taught to love and to learn. It is where we learn compassion and morals. We are children of God. We are the family of faith, and the family is at its best when it together, in celebration, in unity, in solidarity. It is elevated when it is united. Family indeed is the crucible of human formation, experience, and cultural expression. We as the family of Polonia have been doing good works for more than 150 years, inspired by the active involvement of our brothers and sisters in service to the people of Polonia, and grateful for all that has been accomplished for the common good. We together strive to do even more. Let's make Polonia united, informed, involved, and active. What better time for this than now? This month in Rome, the Synod of Bishops has gathered to continue discussion on the Holy Father's chosen theme of the vocation and mission of the family in the church and contemporary world. With strong families, where our Christian faith permeates every crevice of our being, we form loving, strong, active, service-minded people who influence the communities we live in. Families need our support now, in so many ways. And we can provide it because, as St. Paul said to the Corinthians, the love of Christ impels us, as it is recorded in 2 Corinthians 5, verse 14. Jako krajowy dyrektor wykonawczy Ligi Katolickiej Pomocy Religijnej w Polsce i Polonii, którą nazywamy w skrócie Liga, przedstawiam Wam jej działania i proponuję, aby Liga była postrzegana nie jako kolejna organizacja, ale jako zorganizowany ruch otwarty na każdego, kto chciałby razem pracować w umacnianiu Polonii i z miłością nieść pomoc przedsięwzięciom charytatywnym tu, w tym kraju i w Polsce. In my capacity of the director of Liga, I speak to bishops, priests, deacons, religious men and women, and the laity across Polonia in the United States and other countries. We all see the great need to serve our people here and now. The goal of the Liga is service, organized around the needs of families, both immediate and long range. A visible example of its service thus far is the national collection which covers priest scholarships in Rome, charitable aid to people in Poland and in mission lands. As I said, I would submit the work of the Liga as a good resource for our future endeavors. The developing website could be the tool for informing, uniting, involving, and activating ourselves and others. The work cannot be done by one individual. And my brothers and sisters, let us be honest. No one will do the job for us if we don't work for ourselves as Polonia. With all this groundwork laid, I would like to propose on behalf of the Liga my 4 priorities for your consideration and discussion today. Please also bring to the discussion the goals and priorities your organization has. I pray that at the end of the day, we will find that many of us have similar ideas and that we could work for the good of our people with service and leadership. Therefore, I seek to first, and I propose, form a regional board of directors of Liga representing as many organizations and groups as possible. Secondly, I would propose creating a junior board so we could reach out to the younger generations and give them the opportunity to learn from today's talented leaders as they will later become the leaders of Polonia. Thirdly, I would like to propose a common effort in creating higher education scholarships for our well-qualified future leaders. In addition, we should offer formation and ongoing education for our local leaders in parishes and in organizations. Fourthly, I would envision an annual Polonia charity banquet where we could celebrate as one family of Polonia. We could present to Polonia our scholarship recipients, give recognition to illustrious members of Polonia, and honor those who add generously to our endeavors. Details of this will be worked out. I must say that the Liga does not have its own staff. The work is done by my office and by the priest moderators across the US, and today we have a good example of Father Eric coming on a very busy day from Cleveland. He is one of the directors in that region. This is only the beginning what I'm talking about. You already do so much in your own groups. Let us join our forces. I truly believe if each person does a little, no single person has to do everything. Today, we are blessed in the US by 5 generations of Poles who are not only present, but actively engaged in the work of this country and in Polonia. Almost 10 million people in the United States claim Polish ancestry. Wiemy wiele o naszej historii, ale zawsze dobrze uczyć się i więcej słyszeć opowieści raz po raz, aż do zapamiętania. Dokumentalny film „Czwarta dzielnica” przedstawia część opowieści o imigrantach, którzy opuścili Polskę i osiedlili się na terenie Chicago. Każda fala imigrantów przeżywała swoje własne rozterki. Wielu z nich nigdy już nie było dane wrócić do ich ukochanej Polski. Budowali swoją Polskę tutaj, w swoich parafiach, organizacjach, domach, dla siebie samych, dla swoich rodzin, jednakże dodając do wspólnego dobra ich nowego kraju. Poles build their new lives in the country as all new immigrants do, by the sweat of their brows and with all their intellectual gifts. All this rooted in their faith in God with the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Blessed Paul VI gave Poles the singular affirmation, Polonia semper fidelis. Poland, always faithful. In these last 150 years, the waves of immigrants from Polish homeland built their churches where they felt at home and free, expressing our great culture. They joined themselves into organizations, fraternal groups, and auxiliaries to help each other, and they never forgot to send help to their families, parishes, and villages they left behind. Now that great spirit continues through their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and beyond. Each generation has added to the fruitfulness of the endeavors of the previous out of love and concern for their brothers and sisters here and in Poland. They reached out to them through their work in every way possible. Podczas I i II wojny światowej i później wraz z nastaniem komunizmu patriotyzm Polaków w Stanach Zjednoczonych kierował ich do pracy na rzecz Polonii, ale również Polski. Kontynuowali oni niesienie wzajemnej, natychmiastowej pomocy poprzez bratnie i charytatywne organizacje. Dodatkowo w swoich wysiłkach niesienia pomocy Polsce wstępowali oni na inny poziom zaangażowania. Amerykanie polskiego pochodzenia wpływali na politykę Stanów Zjednoczonych, kiedy ta potrzeba stała się nagląca, wybierając spośród swojej grupy etnicznej przedstawicieli, tak abyśmy mogli mieć ludzi do wypowiadania się w naszym imieniu i wspierania patriotycznych liderów tutaj i za granicą. We are blessed by having such leaders that connected us to Poland and Polonia. One of these great people is Paderewski. By the way, a wonderful exposition here could be witnessed of his presence here in the United States, here in Chicago by this exposition. During the First World War and after, Poland needed and received help from its brothers and sisters abroad, especially from the US. Paderewski influenced the politics of President Wilson in regards to the new situation in Europe as nations were reshaping borders. Pastors, leaders of organization, and the people of their parishes worked tirelessly to bring Polonia together to help Poland and to help their own families. The Catholic League for Religious Assistance to Poland and Polonia was formed over 7 years ago to respond to the wartime needs of Poland. After the war, under communist rule, the Catholic Church and the people of Poland needed tremendous help, and the Liga answered the call. The people of Poland, of Polonia, who struggled themselves to take care of their families, still did so very much to help those who have even less. The fruits of that work, including millions of dollars in financial assistance and even more in the donations of religious and charitable goods, have been shared with priests, parishes, and the people of Poland. Nasz ukochany świętej pamięci biskup Alfred Abramowicz niestrudzenie pracował jako lider Ligi, osobiście wysyłając paczki wypełnione wszystkim od szat liturgicznych, począwszy do butów ofiarowanych przez ludzi. Niejednokrotnie byłem świadkiem jego pracy i wysiłku, gdy własnymi rękami, spocony, pakował paczki do Polski. I am humbled by the good work that Bishop Abramovich and his successors did for the good of Liga. With my episcopal ordination, the leadership of the Liga was passed on to me to continue that work and build for the future. The last 30 years brought tremendous changes into the lives of the people of Poland and Polonia, for the matter also to the whole world. These changes influence how we think and thus what we do. Poland is free and part of the global family of nations. The people of Polonia have settled in communities across United States and the world. The talents and work of our brothers and sisters give them the ability to live where they wish. The need to live close to the stockyards or the steel mills is gone. It is Poland now that has been sending priests to minister in Chicago and elsewhere to serve as missionaries in many lands because the needs are now different. And we have just happened that Father Biłek brought a seminarian to this gathering that came from Poland, from Warsaw, to study here in the seminary system, and I pray that he will be ordained and be a good and active priest. I am convinced that we now need to refocus and shift our attention to the present and thus influence the future. This is our chance, taking example from the great leaders from before. Let us continue their response to the needy, seek solutions that are still needed, and begin the next chapter in the life of Polonia, which calls for our involvement, creativity, and service with love for the family. Movement and change are inevitable. In Philadelphia, Pope Francis reminded us to keep our heritage alive, as St. John Paul the Great said in Gniezno, Poland. And I implore you, remain faithful to this heritage. Make it the foundation of your formation. Make it the object of the greatness of your soul. Keep alive this heritage. Intensify this heritage. Impart it to the next generations. We need to keep our memories and our history alive and treasure it as we make history ourselves. Today is tomorrow's history. Before our collective memory fades, let us together work to honor the past and work for our future. We Polish Americans have much to be proud of and need to inspire the younger generations that they must be holy and thus good and fruitful Americans. They come from noble heritage and people that does not happen on its own. It must be presented in such a way that the richness of our culture is desired. The outcome of it is an affirmation of our humanity. As we build the culture, we are built by it. I hope we will fill future documentaries with more than selfies. Share your memories always. Being influenced by the stories from the past, we create our own stories and add our living history to the history of previous generations. Together, it creates the ethos of Polonia. Ramy czasowe dzisiaj nakazują mi zatrzymać się przed wejściem w głębie tych tematów, ale mam nadzieję, że w miarę upływu czasu będziemy pogłębiać ten skarbiec naszych osiągnięć myśli i ducha i wspólnej pracy wśród Polonii. Teraz kontynuujemy wspólne pracowanie, abyśmy znaczyli swoją widoczną obecność dla siebie nawzajem i innych wokół nas. If we keep our faith and our heritage as our personal treasure, it will wither and die. We need to come together and share and pray and talk and even argue sometimes. How we focus in the present will influence our future. That present in our future as Polonia is rooted in the family. I invite each one of you to together work for the happiness expressed by the relationships with our holy families as we build them with love and the sweat of our brow. It is worth the work. Let us build it. It is the family that is now the focus of our efforts. We add to what was done in the past and focus on today so we can influence the future. Today, we come back to the core with a new urgency to form and support our families. Our Holy Father has shown us the start of this effort. We talk about it in our parishes, and now it is the time for us to together work to support our families as they mold and form the future of Polonia. When I met in November with bishops of Polonia who serve on the Episcopal Board of the Catholic League for Religious Assistance to Poland and Polonia, I would be proud to be able to say that in this region, around the Chicago area and beyond, Liga is on the move and reaching forward, that Polonia is striving to be united, informed, involved, and active. Thank you very much. Bóg zapłać.